look of disgust on her pallid face. Ain't gonna happen, chummer. Not now, not ever. Bartender shrugs. Give you about half an hour before the shake set in. When that happens, you know where to find me. He turns to another customer with a smirk, leaving the desperate young woman crumpled against the bar. Silk looks up at you, a look of abject misery plastered across her face. Leave me alone, okay? I've got problems to deal with. Sounds like new management stole your property. Answer some questions for me. I'll help you get it back. Crime habit is a rough thing to shake. I know a place that can help you get clean if you're interested. Hulake said that I wanted to shake anything. She gives you a sour look. Look around you. Like what you see? Of course you don't. My life is better on Cram. Why would I ever want to stop? Intelligence 3 point at Kroner. Do you want to wind up working for him? I'll tell you the same thing that I told him. That ain't gonna happen. Maybe not, but in order to keep feeding your habit, you're eventually gonna wind up doing something that you regret. Trust me on this. Stop it. Please stop, okay? I don't need your help, and I don't want it. As strong as Silk's words are, her voice sounds unsure. From the way that she's fidgeting, you can tell that you've struck a nerve. So it really sucks I don't actually know any of these. We only have a limited time to spend on this rock. Spending it stoned is a way... Oh, yeah, that's not gonna convert anybody. She rolls her eyes at you. Please, look, I'm sure you're just trying to help, but you're so getting on my nerves here. It's not your business anyway. I don't even know you. Just leave me alone, okay? I can help you if you don't... Can't help you if you don't want to be helped. Sounds like new management stole your property. Answer some questions for me and I'll help you get it back. Really? That'd be incredible. Her lips struggle upward as a facsimile of a smile. I really need that money, and I left some things there too. You know, personal stuff. It can be very discreet. My stuff should be up in room 304. That's where me, Nadia, and Sarah were staying until, well, you know. I'll be waiting right here when you get back down. So, what did you need to know? Do you know a guy named Green Winters? No, I don't think... Oh, wait, yeah. I bumped into him here a few days ago. I remember him because his name sounds like a kind of chewing gum. Don't think I remember seeing him leave, so he's probably holed up in his room. I'm pretty sure that there's still some people up there, the ones the gangers missed. I hear they locked themselves in. Let's hear about the gang then. Bad guys. I mean, like, real bad guys. The gang that used to run this place wasn't all that bad. They kept the cram flowing, and the prices weren't too high. They never hassled me as long as I kept buying. These new guys killed them all when they took over. Now I'm stuck dealing with assholes like Kroner. The floor manager, Frank, had a thing for my girl Sarah. He was always coming on to her, no matter how many times she told him no. I haven't seen her since the takeover, but he wouldn't stop asking me about her. The guy's a real creep. That's about all I can think of. I steer clear of the new guys when I can. She steals a glance over her shoulder at Kroner, a scowl across her face. I shouldn't have to tell you why. I need to get up to that hotel. Any idea who I'd talk to about that? You can talk to Frank. He's the floor manager. He'd have an elevator key. She points to the north end of the club. He's over there on the VIP balcony. See that greasy jackass in the oversized suit? The one drooling all over the table dancer? That's Frank. Can you tell me about the layout of the hotel? Well, it's a nice enough place, you know, for a factory. Let's see, well, okay. The second floor is a security station. Lots of high-tech stuff up there. I've heard stories about the penthouse level, something about a sealed vault. There's supposed to be something real valuable in there, but nobody knows what it is. Doesn't stop them from talking about it, though. Thanks, you've been very helpful. Sure thing, just hurry back with the stuff, okay? I really need it. Kroner. New lady, huh? I haven't seen you around here. I've seen you around here before. What can I get you? Looking for a guy who calls himself Green Winters. Know him? He looks suspiciously. Think so? Might be staying upstairs. How do I get up there? You don't talk to me? Talk to Frank. He's in the back, VIP lounge. You want something for the bar, or were you just here to chat? Overview of the conversation is up there. Hey, if she wants her cram, she's got to pay, same as everybody else. Barter system, eh? This is basic supply and demand stuff, right? It's not that tough to understand. If she wants my goods, she needs to repay me with goods or services. Pretty simple math. Even she can do it. Now, you gonna buy something or not? I'm not gonna buy, but let's see what it is. 150 bucks. Not a chance. Leaving. Pinned to the floor manager is too expensive for this neighborhood and too baggy to be his suit name is the name tag Frank. Yeah, what you need. Reluctantly, he shifts his attention away from the elvish dancer swaying in front of him. Can use intelligence. Yeah, intelligence. Lie. Sarah needs your elevator key, says it's important. Frank's eyes go wide. Sarah? She needs something from me? That's right, and if you helped her out, it sounded like she'd be grateful. Okay, yeah, okay. I can't leave the floor, on duty and all that. I can't just hand over the key. I can open the elevator back up, though, and you can let her know. I could make that happen. Okay, alright. Frank rubs his hands, barely contained look of excitement in his eyes. Fishes a small remote out of his pocket and presses a button. The elevator's open. When you see Sarah, you tell her that I'm glad she's okay, right? And make sure that she knows, or she gets that it's me helping her. Sure thing, Frank. This is actually kind of a neat one because it's obvious that there's a few different ways of approaching that. So I like that the objectives are talking a little bit about like achieving an objective as opposed to, you know, automatically triggering a fight each time you do something. Alright, this elevator seems mechanically sound. That's about all it has going for it. Candy wrappers and huge syringes litter the floor, and the handrails are inexplicably sticky. It would appear that cleanliness is not a high priority for the hotel staff. I am at the club, hotel, employees only, hotel, penthouse suites down this floor. Oh, I don't even remember where they said Green Winters lived. Go to the first floor. Actually, let's start with 304 and then we'll just kind of we'll work our way up. Pick up the cred stick. Stuffed bear. And signed cookbook. Optional. Return her belongings. I think I'll just clear out floor 3 and then head back to the club. Then I'll go for the rest of the hotel. So the drawback is, of course, if there's a combat event that comes up, that might hurt my ability to get to the other floors, but we'll see what happens. The floor at this end of the room is beginning to cave in. A trickle of light spills up through the cracks in the floorboards from another room below. With a little force, you could probably open a hole big enough to drop down to the second floor from here. I'll walk away from now, because I haven't explored the second floor to see whether or not I would want to do that. There's a scratched and dented bathroom door locked with a simple hydraulic-looking mechanism. The number entry keypad glows softly on the door frame. I have no idea what the code is, and I don't know if it sets off an alarm if I get it wrong. Note reads, do not open. Okay. Ah. I suppose I only have myself to blame for this. So I don't actually think this is real cover. And apparently that took 2 moves, so... crap. Let's actually haste. Apparently I can. Okay, well I'll get Glory to do her thing then. Probably not enough to... Oh, it is enough to complete the other. That's awesome. I'll do the aim throw just because there's no other opponent I'll attack, but I don't have a lot of hope just because the armor's pretty high. And... that sign is like that old don't push the red button rule. You're gonna go and do it anyway. Yeah, exactly. I think it's like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where it says, like, you know, there's a sign that says, yeah, there's like a button, doesn't have a sign, but when you push the button it says don't ever push this button again or something like that. Recap. Does -1 AP but reduces HP damage to 6. Oh no, we're going for full damage here. And I hit my straight samurai in the process. I crit my Street Samurai in the process. Wow. This takes me 2 turns to heal. We'll just give Tiger some pain. So again, I can afford to take the aim shot just because there's nothing else going on. Okay, well I get the HP back. That's good. It's like a small apology for blasting my Street Samurai. It's a note on the door. His food is in the crisper drawer. His food is in the crisper drawer. See you next week, Stephen. We'll go back to the club just to drop off the stuff, and then I'll just systematically go through each of the rooms. If you found my stuff yet, I really need that money. Hand your belongings over, here you go. Really? You actually went up there and got my things? She stares at the items in her hands incredulously. And you didn't just walk off with them. Wow. Thank you. When you said that you were going up there, I didn't think that... Her lip starts to quiver. Thank you. Let's see if this scumbag has anything to say. Nope. So yeah, the one drawback is apparently I didn't have the right etiquette for getting her off the drugs. Okay, first floor. Maybe we'll find some more scorpions to kill. Personal terminal. Philco Dynasafe computer control system version 2.5. Access the safe. Please input password. Checking. Safe unlocked. Ares Predators with Smart Link. Oh, awesome, so I didn't need to buy the gun. Ares Classics, considered the premier heavy pistol on the streets, has a Smart Link system for increased accuracy and requires ranged combat force, so send this item to my stash. I actually just kind of want to see what my... Alright, so I'm going to be upgrading ranged combat for a really long time to get that. But still not necessarily bad because that's a pretty strong pistol. Okay, picked up 241 million. That at least covers the rest of the donations. I'm a little bit interested in seeing on the second floor what's in this spot, because this kind of is roughly around the spot where I can break down. Okay, trauma kit. Basically because the game doesn't trust me to take care of myself, which is a pretty accurate assessment. Crumbling wall. Section of wall seems to be buckling under its own weight. The aging wallpaper that lines the rest of the hallway has long since peeled away, revealing the structure of the wall underneath. While the underlying structure is reinforced with steel and support struts, you can see signs of rust and metal fatigue everywhere. The entire wall looks like it give away if enough force were applied. Strength 3, shoulder check the wall. So, I mean, I didn't put anything into strength, and if I can do it, then anybody can. You slam into the wall and it gives away with a crunch. But steel stuff. Table. Searching through the clutter on the desk, you find a small synth leather-bound journal. Leafing through the pages of the book reveals only a couple of entries. Each of them is scrawled in frantic, barely legible handwriting, with crude doodles, filling up the margins. Read the first entry. Okay. I know Eddie's up to something like, I heard him today talking to this guy who works the kitchen, asking him where the cleaning supplies was at. I've seen Eddie's room. The dude never cleaned a day in his life. I'm gonna follow him tomorrow and figure out what his deal is. Maybe he's selling mouthwash to hobos a block down the old bus depot. Ha 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 ha. Read the second entry. I knew it. Fraggin' Eddie. I saw him yesterday. He was on the 3rd floor causing the vending machine down there. Because the vending machine down there was out of Soycaf. So he came up and went over to the out-of-order latrine. Punched in the code. Didn't know I was watching, did you, Eddie? Well, I ain't so stupid. He put in 2478. I'm gonna stay up there to find out what he's doing there. So, hopefully I can demonstrate that I can remember numbers. Employees only is probably going to result in a lot of combat, but the Scorpion didn't cause me to stop the rest of the floor to stop searching the rest of the floor, so I'm just going to assume any fights I get into can... Okay, regroup now. So I can blow up the barrel, but I don't really think that's going to do a whole lot of damage yet, so let's just find cover and shoot stuff. This actually feels like it's more of a waste rather than anything. I don't have enough for haste, so I think just keeping him in position is what I want. Okay, let's see if we're... Well, 37 isn't great, but... Well, it worked, so... Gonna keep Dietrich where he is. Yeah, blow away the goon. Actually, probably would have been smarter to give. Oh yeah, I couldn't get haste to Eiger. That's why I didn't do it. I think we'll just pile on this guy. Wow. Okay, that's just a terrible spot to be. Good shoot. See what Glory does on her own before I do anything else. Just kind of keeps punching the guy. Now, it doesn't make any sense to blow away my Street Samurai again, so I think we'll just take some shots at the Moon Boss. This is really not very good positioning on my part. Yikes. I hope that hits both. Yeah, close enough. Kind of hoping he'd finish her off, but I guess it's a him. Achievement unlocked. Registration terminal. HR hotel registration security servants. Version 1.1. Search guest register by name. Search current guest register by room number. And admin services. So. Currently staying room 4, room 405. Read the attached notes. Guy in the Master Suite 4 asks for his room code to be changed again. Paranoid son of a bitch. Anyway, dude's been renting one of our biggest rooms for months, so I guess I shouldn't complain about this too much. Code is 1989, which I happen to know is the year that Shadowrun was first written. Which actually brings to mind, I'm actually going to start writing down these codes because I have a feeling I'm going to start forgetting them. It actually brings a how do I put it? I think it was 2478 was the bathroom. 1989. So I think the thing that kind of makes the fact that this game was written originally in 1989 interesting is when you think about things like the Free State of Berlin and all of that. It's written by people who have sort of this living memory of East and West Berlin and the Cold War, which is maybe something that we don't quite appreciate now. I mean, like, obviously, from my frame of reference, I don't, I know who Gorbachev was because of, reading, but I maybe don't have that same kind of experience of hearing about what's going on and maybe not being sure about what's going to happen in Germany. So, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. It'd be interesting to sort of see how much of the flux state is a reflection of its time. Anyways, 1989 is probably a bit easier to remember, but we will write it down anyway. Don't really have any reason to go by room number, so we'll just go to admin services and see if we can do anything. Nope. So this is basically an area that I can shoot people and find green winters in. I'm still going to search the hotel top to bottom, so I guess I didn't really need to be here. Third floor? Oh wait, I already searched through the third floor, but I can break down to the actually, so it's just as well I didn't break down to the second floor, because I have a feeling I'm just going to wind up in a spot I've already been. And, I mean, I guess I might have had a slightly easier time with the combat if I got the drop on him this way, but let's see what happens. Password is password. It's not really a password, but that's a hint. Oh, it looks like there is somebody here. Frightened man. Please don't hurt me, I'm just a line cook. The cook's darting eyes are wide open, and behind them you see pure animal terror. If you let me go, I won't tell anyone. I promise. What are you so afraid of? You're not with those guys out there? Well, I just thought... I thought what? I thought you were one of them. You know, the gangers that took over and shot up the place. That is to say, I worked for the previous owners. When the shooting started, I shut myself in here. They, whoever they are, haven't figured out how to override my keys yet. It's been a day and a half. I don't know how much longer I can stay here. Tell me everything you can about this place. Okay, I know there's some sort of chop shop running in 401, like low-level street dog stuff. I had to deliver room service there one day when we were short-staffed. What I saw there what I saw when they opened the door scared the dreck out of me. People hooked up to tubes and stuff. The door code was 5870 if you want to take a look. Alright, I really am going to have to write these down. Stiff by the sink. So head chef Felix, he took a hit to the chest when they raided this floor. I thought I could stop the bleeding, but the cook lowers his gaze at the floor to his feet. I couldn't. Intelligence 3. You're right next to a walk-in fridge. Don't you think it'd make more sense to drag the body in there than leave it under the sink? Oh, yeah, they'd probably... He glanced over the body again and swallows hard. Probably a good idea. It's already starting to smell. Need to get moving. Wait, you'll help me out of here, won't you? I mean, you're not just going to leave me to die here, are you? I took care of the guys outside. Should be able to make a run for it. Quit whining. I'm the one who's actually getting shot out there. You're in a kitchen. You have plenty of fresh food. Water. You're not going to die. Yeah, just make a run for it. Thank you. I'm as good as gone. Apparently the helping sort of runner. To see he's making the most of the freedom opportunity. Okay, so this is Green Winters and the Chop Shop. That doesn't make sense. See, that was just the code I was given. Oh wait, it was 70, not 07. So at least I know it doesn't sound alarms when I get it wrong. It's a nice little welcoming party. I don't want to waste a name throw on him. These are all really tailorable places to put glory. This is this is terrible. Frag? I hate putting Dietrich in the line of fire like this. Oh, and I can't even do haste. Alright, well, give Iger some at least. That did nothing. I mean, the thing I don't like about moving this character into this position is that they're susceptible to a grenade. It's almost the same damage that I need to do. Well, no, but I can use the shotgun on this guy, so I think I'm just going to chop up the assistant. Or miss. Real way to use shotguns. It's probably not a very well managed engagement, but whatever, it worked. Schematic, which I'm assuming I can sell. Advanced medkit. Because I keep throwing my teammates into harm's way. And nothing. It's a little unkind of them to put all the keypads on the doors. I almost forgot which one was Green Winters. Sorry for a little less dialogue, by the way. There's just not a lot of talking happening in this game, and I'm definitely feeling the hour. I don't think I'm actually going to get the homework that I wanted done, because it's almost... Actually, it's past 3 AM. Wow. The scene is eerily familiar. The dead man is still jacked into a smoldering computer, his face contorted into a mask of pain. Blue smoke spills out from his data jack, like Monica. And there's something else. The man's outline is wrong. It takes a moment for the realization to sink in. His back is bent at an impossible angle. Jesus. Looks like he convulsed hard enough to break his own spine. Is that even possible? Glory gestures to the twisted form of the carpet. You tell me. Iger kneels beside the corpse, bending to peer at his face. Matches the description that Altug gave us. It's Green Winters. She straightens, glancing back to the body before returning his attention to you. This what happened to Monica? I suspect that it would have. We jacked her out in time to prevent it. I don't want to pick a fight. Too bad he didn't have a buddy to jack him out. Yeah, I really don't want to pick a fight with Iger. Hell of a way to go. Yeah, I'm getting that. Iger takes another glance at the broken corpse, and you can see the uncertainty growing in her eyes. I've seen biofeedback deaths before, never seen anything like this. Kneeling to inspect the body, you find smears of blood on the carpet under Winter's right arm. Moving the arm aside, you find a number written across the floor, 91612. Use your PDA to take a hollow pick of the number and the body, then step away. Hanging on the wall is a large, gaudily framed painting, an impressionist landscape, inexpertly rendered in splotches of cheap acrylic. The nameplate on the frame reads, Harz Mountains 2011. With the painting aside, there's nothing there. Damn, hate to be the hotel staff to clean that up. Yeah, it's... I'm assuming that, I don't quite know what price I would put on cleaning up something like that. Let alone the little number I did in the surgery. Hanging on the wall is a large, godly frame painting, an unimaginative still life of some kitchen object sitting on a table. Move the painting aside. There's a small locked safe installed in the wall behind the painting. A keypad mounted on the base grows invitingly. Inside the safe you find a bundle of old, well-worn media discs. The words, "Watch Me," have been hastily written on the back of the topmost disc. Inspect the discs. Disc labeled "Watch Me" looks almost new. The others are clearly much older, and many of them are badly scratched. The last two discs in the bundle are stuck together. When you try to pry them apart, the readable surface of the bottom disc peels away. Take the discs. Optional, answer the video phone. The fact that it auto-saved is mildly concerning. I'm on the phone. Hey there, Chief, don't hang up. I got a proposition for you. I'm listening. You probably noticed that this building is under new management, right? Judging by the fresh corpses I've been seeing strewn all over the hotel, I'm gonna guess that you don't like the new guys better than I do. Well, I'd like to make you an offer. You help cover my escape, and I'll get you to the secure vault on the top floor. Belong to the leader of the gang that used to run this place. Trust me, it's still secure. I set up the security protocols myself. The last Decker they brought here to take a crack at it came back out on a stretcher. They haven't found too many volunteers since then. You're a Decker, then? That'd be an understatement, chum. More accurate to say I'm the Decker, in these parts at least. My handle in the Matrix is Blitz. Maybe you've heard of me. Decking 3. Name rings a bell? Of course it does. In Berlin's Decker community, I'm a household name. Tell me about the gang that used to run the hotel. They called themselves Schwarzherzen, and they pretty much ran Drogenkrip until a few days ago. They weren't a pleasant bunch, but they're better than the jackasses we've got in here now. Let's deal with the new gang. They're terrible people, real bad guys, all of them. Look, I don't mean to rush you, but we can discuss all of this later. You know, after we're out of the building full of murderous thugs. Why are you in the hotel, and how do you have access to the security system? I was in the hotel when it got taken over, and the new gang decided to keep me on staff, I guess you would call it. They put me in charge of Matrix security. Maybe one of the hottest Deckers in Berlin, but a bullet in the head will kill me just as dead as anyone else. Given the circumstances, I didn't see how I could refuse. Let's get back to business. Where's the vault? Or what's in the vault? Gear, money, you know, lots of good stuff. I'm gonna need some specific examples if you want me to help you. Look, buddy, I set up in the Matrix security, I just set up the Matrix security for the thing. The old boss didn't let me set foot in the vault. He was a little paranoid, you know? He was really adamant that he wanted me to rig up some really killer IC. So there must be something of value in there. So how about it? Do you want to crack that vault or not? Yeah, where do I meet you? Room 505 on the penthouse floor. Come rendezvous with me here, and I'll take you to the vault. It's actually, again, kind of a neat thing when you look at science fiction like this. I mean, obviously this is a modern game, but something that's kind of interesting in terms of how they have kept the environment is the fact that there's information that are recorded on discs. Because, you know, if you had asked me, heck, I guess I can't even really remember when media changed. Like, there was a fight between Sony and not Microsoft, whoever made like the HD. Man, I don't even remember what they called it. Like, so Blu-ray used to be blue, and they sell these other discs which were supposed to be HD in red packages. And like that whole fight was meaningless because the shift wasn't to better DVD players. The shift was to no DVDs in computers at all. Like the laptop I'm playing on right now doesn't have the option of plugging in a DVD. So, you know, this science fiction game that takes place in the year 2050, apparently we've regressed to a point where we keep our media on discs. I mean, they have cred sticks. That's kind of analogous to USB drives and stuff like that, so it's not completely inaccurate, but it's just kind of interesting to see. Like, and I mean, Neuromancer, right? Everybody still talks to each other face to face. Nobody has a cell phone. So, I mean, I think cell phones were actually around when Gibson was writing Neuromancer as well. So, the whole idea of miniaturizing that technology and something that's been, well, not even miniaturizing, but like put it something that's affordable for everybody to use. It's just something that doesn't seem to have either been important to that story or something he wasn't considering. And I mean, I don't think he was necessarily writing a story about the future. So, anyways, Blitz, knew you'd come. I've always been a good judge of character. Since we're meeting him personally, I'll formally introduce myself. He nods his head in salute. Blitz, Decker Extraordinaire, at your service. Minerva. The vault is just around the corner. Once we get there, I can unlock it with a few clicks on my keypad. Blitz offers you something between a smile and a smirk. Built myself a back door when I wrote the security system. Never hurts to be careful. Sounds good, let's go. Something that's kind of neat about this is there's lots of optional quests here, which I don't remember from Dead Man's Switch, so it's kind of neat to see. I was playing Starbound earlier today, and I know, like, I'm always 50-50 in terms of talking about stuff that I'm not entirely positive of, because, I mean, I complain a lot in real life, and I think, you know, obviously I like sharing stuff with you guys, but I think there's a lot of opportunities to, you know, just whine about stuff and maybe just generally be unpleasant. Nope, I get to shoot things while I talk about this. But with that in mind, I mean, Starbound is clearly relevant to gaming, and doesn't necessarily always... people don't always have the fondest associations with it, let's say. I just gotta think about what I'm gonna do with my mage. I think this time we haste glory. You're into position. Probably gonna wind up nailing my main character if I use this shotgun, but we'll find out. Nope. So... boss goon. So I only get one hit no matter what. I think I'll just go for the YOLO play and go straight for... I mean, she does have ranged ability. Yeah, so, I mean, let's face it, like, people were disappointed with Starbound. Oh, actually, this guy's expendable. Stand him in the middle so that I can get hit with a big... so I can just get hit with a grenade. do with that actually, so let's just chop the guy up a bit more. Oh, nice, and I get to put her in cover. Okay, anyways, so the thing I was talking about before. So I mean, early access is something that we live with now. And it's something like Kickstarter that allowed us to get Shadowrun returns. Now what kind of interests me is that you have something like the Starbound model, which, let's keep in mind that Starbound was originally scheduled to be released in 2013. Just got a big update, and I think what really surprised me when I played the game today was how very much the same it was from when I first played and stopped playing it. This is a game that I think is only and will only ever be sold on its promise. I don't ever think that the game that we all expected is ever actually going to be made. Alright, here we go. Tap, tap. Done. Wait, when did that thing get installed? Oh, God. Right. Take cover. Destroy! I don't even know what to do about this. Kneecap might be good just because of the -1 AP. May hit adjacent characters. I don't really want to risk that. Okay, so the thing I was saying about Starbound. So what kind of interests me here is, Starbound is a game that's basically sold on a promise, is still trying to ride that as much as it can, and I don't ever think is really going to be anything more. Now you take Shadowrun returns as a backer reward. They allowed people to recommend settings that they'd like to see. I think what I'm going to do here is actually run her into the next room. I'm not quite sure if that thing is going to fire on us, but there then. This guy's expendable, let's see. Yes, it does fire. So I'm thinking I bring in a spirit here. So basically as a backer reward... Oh, actually this is neat, so I can probably just run him out. It's probably better to run him into the other room at least. Quite sure how I'm going to play this actually, so I guess I'll move Iger into position. Not enough AP. So throw in on the bot. kind of dangerous to put everybody in at the same time, actually. I think I'm just going to reload with her and hold back. Oh, but Gloria has so much movement. Crap. So street samurai skills at work, I can see. Okay, so anyways, so you have this Kickstarter reward, which basically says, you know, get your say in terms of the next location for the next Shadowrun story. And what kind of interests me, like that, you know, Kickstarter rewards are specifically designed to, I can't where I want them to. There we go. Wasted a whole action point for that too. Years of military training to do that. Dietrich's moving in here. And giving my grenade. I should have gave that ahead of time, but sue me. So yeah, basically Kickstarter rewards exist entirely to get more money for the project. Nothing wrong with that, it's just the reality that we live in. Now, oh right, I remember what I wanted Iger here for. It's to summon the spirit. Alright, well, I'll have to live with my choice now. Now, despite this fact, it's very clear that all the stuff that people weren't crazy about for Dead Man's Switch, they've all been addressed in Dragonfall. The number of optional quests that I've been given greatly exceeds anything that I was kind of expecting for Dragonfall. And then you can compare that to like this idea of armor piercing. That apparently doesn't count on the turret, so we'll just do a regular attack. Mostly I just want this thing to be a bullet sponge. I kind of want to get at least one of the things down. So, I mean, it's just two different approaches, which is, you know, Starbound sort of had the, you know, they were sort of the darling boy for a while. They had the product that everybody wanted. I mean, it's a style of game that's really popular, and it's a style of game that can be really good. But in this case, I just don't think it's lived up to the promise. And I think they've been given all of the money for the project now, so there's really no incentive for them to actually bother finishing the game. And then you turn this around and you show, you know, this definitely shows a development team that is genuinely happy and genuinely grateful that they were able to make the game that they wanted. So I don't know. Playing Dragonfall is just. I mean, it's also in light of the fact that I've been playing Starbound recently. I just think Dragonfall really reflects the kind of game that is made by a developer that is really invested into, you know, making a good product, making something that they were proud of, and taking the advice from the community and making something even better. Like, how many times can you look at expansions and say, you know, say that it's better than the original? Hint Decker. Ah, thank you. Okay, actually I'm apparently impenetrable to your advice. I don't see any attacking options. This is a terminal. Oh, it's a terminal. And I can't throw my grenade. Alright, well, I'll just waste the turn and go back. Apparently I'm all about the brute force approach. Oh, did this thing just turn on me? It's weird I can't use that on the... Yeah, that terminal existed entirely for me to deal with that objective. Thanks, Rogue Number. I'm just dumb. But yeah, in any case, so I think the problem is I spent a little too much time complaining about Starbound, but the intent of that was to praise Harebrained Schemes and what they've done with them. Praise what they've done with the Shadowrun game, because I think Dragonfall really reflects the feedback that people probably gave them when Dead Man's Switch originally came out, and I really like what they've been talking about for Shadowrun Hong Kong, which I will be sure to link the Kickstarter at the end of the broadcast. Tranquilizing Narcotic, incoming damage reduced by 4 for 5 rounds of combat, strength reduced by 1. What would you like to do with this item? We'll send it to our stash, let's probably sell it. Drone appears to be broken. All it can seem to do is hover in place. Take the drone. Just stick it in your pocket. I have no idea what this diamond's supposed to do. Been safe. $1,500 Nuyen. And Nitro, which again I send to the stash but never really intend to use. That's all you had in here? Track. To each their awesome when games let that happen. Oh, you mean the multiple ways of getting through an objective? Yeah. I mean, clearly using my Decker was the right way to go there. I'm just... I think I'm reflecting the fact that it is well past 3 o'clock in the morning, where this was originally intended to just get my mind off grad school applications and do some homework. I'm really put myself behind the 8 ball for getting some work done tomorrow. So that's fine. We'll wrap up this mission and... Actually, I should be able to see... Yeah, I've taken out all of my objectives. So what I think I'm going to do is head back to the Kreutz Bazaar. I think I'm going to at least buy up what I can. Probably won't spend any money. But I'll at least wrap up this mission. Hey, thanks for the assist. Can't tell you how happy I am to leave this place behind. No problem. Let's nods at you, then abruptly change the subject. Say, you wouldn't happen to need a Nova Hot Decker, would you? Because I can definitely find myself... Because I suddenly find myself unemployed. I'm a Decker. I'm afraid not. Positions to be filled. Oh, damn. Well, I also have some rigging skills. I can do that, too. And I'm pretty handy with a gun. Worst case scenario, I'm another warm body to fill the ranks if somebody takes a hit. Come on, buddy. Let me sign on with you. You won't regret it. Yeah, why not? Fantastic. Promise you won't regret it. No hot or not. Your team makes its way back to the nearest U-Bahn station. 20 minutes later, you're on a return trip to the Kreutz Bazaar, leaving the filth of Dragonpipe far behind, but the image of Green Winter's twisted corpse continues to linger in your mind. You lift one of the discs that you pulled from Winter's safe to the light, reflections dance off its surface. With luck, you'll soon have the answers that you've been looking for. Continue. As you lead your team through the shadows, your companions will continue to develop and learn new combat skills. Clicking the icon in the lower right-hand corner of the screen will open the crew advancement menu. This icon is highlighted. One or more of your companions is eligible to learn a new combat skill. At each achievement level, you may choose one of 2 possible combat skills for each of your runners. Choose wisely. This is neat, actually. So I was talking to somebody in Jesse Quill's stream. Hello again, my friend. What can I do for you? I'd like to talk to you about your organization. Yes, of course. Please go on. Accepting donations. As of your last donation, we have 100 million saved towards our 250 million goal. Whatever more you can contribute will be greatly appreciated. 100 million. Fine donations will do a great deal of good. Thank you. And take another 100 million. The shadows have been good to me recently. Someone accepts the donation. Fine donations will do a great deal of good. Thank you. This donation, we've reached our first goal. Oh, okay, so I probably could have got away with 50 and the same result would have happened. Put your contribution to work stocking the shelter with blankets and heaters. Please do not downplay your contribution. You will have shown kindness at a time where few others will. That means something. It means a great deal. Let's talk about something else. No questions? Just passing by. I think what I'm actually going to do is buy some of that cyberware I had my eye on. Well, assuming I have the money for it. Got the pistol that I wanted, I just don't have the skill to use it. Welcome back. What can I do for you, my friend? Auto injector hyper. I found the schematic. Think you can hook me up with this chrome? Very nice. Design appears to be simple enough. Yes, I should be able to provide you with this. It won't be cheap, though. Cyberware. 2,000 for the leg. Definitely going for the eyes. So talking with Jesse Quill, Jesse Quill's stream, so I was talking to somebody about Shadowrun Dragonfall, because I think I got, like, I had hosted her, I got a shout out from them. It's actually extremely kind. So both Jesse Quill and Sirius DeClara's websites are extremely kind in giving shout outs to streamers, even somebody who's relatively small time, such as myself. But when I was trying to explain Dragonfall and Shadowrun Returns to somebody, I kind of used the analogy of XCOM. So obviously XCOM doesn't have the RPG elements that Shadowrun does, but the combat definitely is. And actually seeing how they do team members now, where you have 2 routes to go through when they level up, I actually notice it's another similarity with XCOM, which is good because I think XCOM's a fantastic title, and it's actually not a bad combat system to use for a Shadowrun title because it allows you to focus on the story. Alright, so Sniper Specialist, gains a sniper rifle ability that increases accuracy by 35% for 1 shot, 2 action points, cooldown 3. Or Shotgun Specialist gains a shotgun ability that imbalances targets, making them easier to hit on subsequent attack. Ooh! I like that quite a bit, actually. So I mean, Steady Shot would be awesome, but I figure because I've got my Shaman to increase people's aim, I'll go for that one. Looks like these chuckleheads can't do... Oh, hang on. Yes, he can. So I've got Meltdown. So Dietrich's Electrocore spell now strips 1 armor from affected targets. Or Dietrich trains further with thrown weapons, increasing his accuracy with his thrown knives. So this is a tough call because I've never actually used Meltdown. I did just set him up with Iger to be a primary spellcaster, but I think I'll do Blade Specialist just because if I find myself with that extra action point, it'd be nice to have somebody throwing out a bit of damage. So Glory I've gone nuts with for the razors. I think I've used my pistol twice with her, so... Additional 2 damage and pierces up to 2 armor, 1 action point with a cooldown of 2, or compound attack. Gains melee attack, razor slash followed up by kicked, pierces 1 armor, may do AP damage. I think I'm definitely going to keep her on the razors, and Blitz doesn't do anything, so confirm all. Blitz looks up as you approach. The table beside him is littered with cigarette butts. A data jack cable dangles from a portable terminal set up by his side. Hey, Chief, you need something? Just checking in. You doing all right? Great, Chief. I'm doing just great. It's real nice to be able to wind down and relax for a change. No more worrying about this ganger or that ganger sneaking behind me and slipping a knife between my ribs. He slaps the table with a grin. It's a good change, Chief, I gotta say. Glad to hear it. We're happy to have you on the team. Of course you are. He gestures at himself with a flourish. It's not to be happy about. Now that you've settled in, I've got some questions for you. Glances wistfully black at the terminal on his table, then turns back with a sigh of resignation. I suppose, but try to keep it short, okay, Chief? I've got things to do. How long were you in Dragonfall? Ended up there after the anarchist revolution of 39. I was just a kid back then, too young to realize how good I was, how much money I could have made working the shadows. He shakes his head, a wistful expression on his face. And so, being young and dumb, I fell in with the gang crowd, and that was that. You're a member of a drug gang. Why should I trust you? Why wouldn't you, Chief? I mean, just look at me. He does his best to give you a winning smile. I'm a trustworthy guy. Prove it. Tell me about the gang you're in. I don't know all that much, Chief. I wasn't a member of gang leadership or anything. I'm not really sure why you care either. Consider it a test. I need to know where your loyalties lie. He rolls his eye. If that's what it'll take for you to trust me, fine. Anything for you, Chief. Where to begin? When I first arrived in Dragonfall, I spent some time taking in the lay of the land. The Schwarzherzen were a pretty small gang, strictly street level, but I could see they were going places. Did a little pro bono decking for their leader, a fat little dwarf named Dieter. Soon enough, I was part of the family. For drug gang, the Schwarzherzen were decent enough folks. Made a lot of money with them, helped them take the hotel in the first place. We had a lot of good years there. Then Dieter was killed in a firefight, and our happy little family fell apart. Was that when the hotel got attacked? Blitz takes another deep breath, shifts his weight from one foot to another. Not exactly. Schwarzherzen maintained their hold on Dragonfall. The change in leadership was bad news for me. After Dieter kicked the bucket, his second-in-command took over. She was a real piece of work. Called herself Leonie Lester. She had a vicious streak a mile long, and she was none too fond of me. Can't imagine why not. I know, what's not to like? Maybe she felt threatened by my friendship with Dieter, back before he ate that bullet. Maybe she was just jealous of my rugged good looks. Who the hell knows? The point is, she went after me, vigorously. Within 24 hours of Dieter's death, I had a price on my head. That's when the hotel got taken over. That's what you need to know about the Schwarzherzen. They were a great gang, a powerful gang. I helped make them that way. Then they had management turnover, and everything went to hell. Blitz rocks back on his feet, his hands in his pockets. That's it. End of story. Anything else you want to talk about? Wait a second. That isn't it. There's some pretty big holes in that story. Come on, Chief, this is all ancient history. Would you rather talk about the future, the runs we're going to go on, all the money we're going to make? Let's tell me what happened between Lester putting the price on your head and the hotel getting attacked. Alright, Chief, fine. That's what it takes to make you happy. So I was in a bind, right? The members of the Schwarzherzen who were loyal to Lester were out for my blood, and none of the others were going to stick their necks out for me. The advantage of being a ganger is protection in numbers. When those numbers turn against you, you've got to get creative if you want to stay alive. What did you do? Blitz taps the plastic of the data jack. But I had to. Lester had declared war on me, so I retaliated, and I won. All without ever firing a shot. That's not an answer. Blitz sighs. You won't be satisfied until I spell it out, will you? Okay, fine. I hacked into Lester's computer and sent all of her information to a rival organization. Remember Frank from the hotel? He was my liaison. They hit the Schwarzherzen, and they hit him hard, and then they took the hotel. And then they took me. I'll admit, the plan backfired a little bit. I don't want to be too hostile to the guy. Probably did what you had to do in your place. In your place, I'd probably have done the same. Blitz lets out a sigh of relief. Thanks, Chief. I knew you'd understand. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to get back on what I was doing. He gives you a lazy salute. We'll talk later, I'm sure. And Chief, glad to be a member of the team. If I have to do extended dialogue with everybody, I think I'm just going to call it for tonight, but I'll at least give it a try on a couple. Dante. Down to see a big pair of big bright eyes set into a scruffy face looking up at you. Dante, Monica's old dog. Looking down at those huge brown eyes, you see intelligence and sadness. On some instinctive level, he must know that his master is gone. Dante lets out a small whine, then rubs his head against you. Woof. Hey, boss. Dietrich gives you a slight nod. What can I do for you? Thoughts about the last run you'd like to share? Well, we found Winters. That's something, I guess. This whole thing has me feeling uneasy, boss, but at least we have a direction to look in. How are you holding up? You seem to take Monica's death harder than the others did. Dietrich shakes his head, a wistful expression on his face. Nah, no harder, but I'm less buttoned up than the others are. Igirl never let herself show any weakness, and Glory, she's too full of chrome to feel much of anything. He shrugs. Me, I don't give a damn. I've already spent too much of my life putting on a show for others already. What do you mean by that? I used to front a punk band way back when. Believe it or not, I've spent a pretty good chunk of my life on stage. Whenever we weren't playing, I was living up to our fans' expectations, spouting off, getting into fights, getting drunk, getting laid. Not a bad life, all things considered. Wait a second, you can sing? He regards you with a critical eye. I was the frontman for a punk band, boss. Fuck no, I can't sing. He grins. But I wasn't half bad at riling up a crowd. How did you go from fronting a band to running the shadows? It wasn't as big of a leap as you'd think. I already had a healthy disrespect for authority, and I had magic to back it up. One nice thing about shamanism, as long as you keep your idol happy, it doesn't matter what else you do. Dragon Slayer chose me to be his servant. As long as I was scrapping with someone bigger than me, he didn't care much whether I did it on stage or in the shadows. What was your band called? Maybe I've heard of it. Oh, I doubt it, boss. We never really got in the airplane. Spit it out, old man. All right, boss, if you insist. The band was called Messerkampf, spelled just like it sounds, in big capital letters with an exclamation point. We weren't a big act or anything. We sold a few records here and there, toured across Europe. We had a decent following in England, and we holed up in London from 31 to 36. Spent most of our time slumming it around the East End and picked up enough cockney to irritate the folks back home. He shakes his head. Truth be told, that whole chapter of my life is a bit of a blur. We didn't do it for the fans or the fame. We sure as shit didn't care about the money. All that mattered to us was staying young and drunk and angry. He takes a moment to examine his gnarled hands, a sad smile on his face. I managed to get the second two. Good God, where's the time gone? Dietrich shakes himself from his reverie and looks back up at you. That familiar easy grin returns to his face. Well, anyway, boss, everything ends eventually, and I washed my hands of all this years ago. So let's change the subject if you don't mind. Tell me about the Dragon Slayer. He shrugs. Not much to tell. He chose me when I was just a kid. Could always feel him in my heart, goading me to laugh louder, hit harder, get rowdier than the rest. Of course, my family didn't understand. The hell with them, I thought. I knew I was destined for greater things. So I listened to him, and I cracked the skulls of a lot of bad people. He saw this, and he was pleased, and rewarded me with magic. And I used that magic to crack bigger, thicker skulls, and so on. He shrugs. It's a simple life, but a good one. So long, Dietrich. It's actually, he nods at you. Take it easy, boss. So one thing that kind of interests me about this one is the opening of this is into a vault where the only real clue that you're given is the Dragonfall. We've got the Dragon Slayer totem for Dietrich, and then the bit that we learn about the Dragonfall from Paul Amsel is, a secret weapons lab that was designed, well, not like a weapons lab that was designed to deal with the Firewing. I don't know a whole lot about the lore in Shadowrun, but I know there's a fairly significant assassination that happens in it where there's a dragon that becomes elected president of the United States, Stungzel Khan, and he's assassinated. So I'm almost wondering if this is the story about that assassination attempt. Because it certainly has, it's something that's worth keeping the secret about. It's what's potentially being researched inside that lab, and it's what makes the Dragonfall relevant compared to whether or not it's ancient history. The character creator is good. Yeah. No, the writing for this is really good. Igirl turns to face you. There's a pained look on her face. Look, I owe you an apology. I am listening. When Monica died, I was pissed. That probably doesn't come as a huge surprise. But I took that anger out on you, and I shouldn't have. Seeing Winter's body like that was enough to convince me you couldn't have done anything to help Monica, and I couldn't have either. We're dealing with something new. Monica was a good friend of mine. Her death hurt. I got carried away and I said some things I shouldn't have. I want to apologize for that. Her body relaxes. She begins to turn away. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. There are a few things I want to say. She stops and turns back to face you. You can see the wariness in her eye. Go ahead. Nobody's stopping you. So in this case, I will go for the first option just because of Monica's recommendation to not to kiss up. I accept your apology, but if you ever insult me in front of the team again, you're going to regret it. That's a promise. She nods appreciatively. Some backbone. It's good to see. Don't worry, Minerva. I won't question your competence again. At least not in front of the others, at least. But I won't lie. I still have some concerns about you. What kind of concerns? Basic ones. I don't want to see history repeat itself. What history are you talking about? I'd rather not go into it, fearless leader. Let's just say that I've had bad luck with underexperienced teammates, and leave it with that. She turns away. You should go, fearless leader. I've got prep work to do for our next run, and you've got more important things to do than watch me pack my gear. Minerva, what do you need? Hey Glory, how you holding up? Don't worry about me, I'm solid. You say you're good? You're good? I trust you. Glory's expression remains neutral. She grants you a very perceptible nod. Question for you, Glory, the personal kind. I'm not big on sharing personal reasons. Sure, I understand, but I still need to talk to you. Glory lets out a weary sigh. Ask your questions, but do it quickly. I have things to do. You can't have started running the Shadows much more than 5 years ago, tops, so what's with the vintage chrome? It was cheap, gets the job done, she shrugs. End of discussion. I don't think so. I've seen a lot of street Sams in my time, but I've never met anyone who'd voluntarily install cyberware that old. You're right, there's more to me than I'm letting on, but I'm not interested in talking about it. So this is clearly an option before, but in the context of that reply, this is such a completely dense reply. So immediately after Glory says to me, you're right, there's more than I'm letting on, but I'm not interested in talking about it. I can't help but notice that you seem guarded, withdrawn. That's my problem and none of your concern. I'm the leader of this outfit. I decide what is and isn't my concern. Now tell me what's going on. This I'm the boss approach, is this I'm the boss approach that you're taking? Not professional, and not a way to get on my good side. Talk to me later when you've grown up. That's all I needed to know. Fine with me. Anything else you needed? Talk to you later. Shrugs, shoots you out. Suit yourself. It's actually fair. I think I gave an Iger response to Glory. Should have reconsidered. Conversation and mission. Okay. Check my inbox for new messages. No messages. Old messages I think I've already got. Yeah. When did you start calling you Fearless Leader? Did they start giving you a nickname? This is the first time Iger started calling me Fearless Leader. Claim payment for sold pay data. Still $495. No pay data. Thread, where to find elves. Is there any elf clubs or bars in the downtown area? I really want to meet one. They're just so beautiful. Maybe we can go dancing. Do elves like dancing? Alex Tusk. There's one on Trostrad. Bring a bouquet of roses. Elves love a romantic toast. I definitely like the attitude. The elf clubs I know are of members only due to creepy groupies like you. It's not really appealing when a guy is only after them for the shape of their ears. Ruby. No more posts on this thread. Client screwed me. Benno is a fraud. I broke my first rule. Always get full payment up. Left me hanging for 50% of the cash after I completed a job. I'm sure he'll have changed his name by the time this posting goes up. Male elf, brown hair, gold eyes, look to be in his mid-30s. Be careful who you work for out there. Pro shot. Never thought I'd see you admit to a mistake on here. Thanks for the heads up. I'll keep my eyes open. We'll forward any info that come across if you're still looking to collect from the guy. Maelstrom. Re-pro shot. Sent you some surveillance footage. Is this your man? Blitz. Sure is. Nice one. Split the take with you if this lead pans out. Good to see that it's still honor among runners. Now we're posting this thread. Amsel. Amsel's expression is harder than you've seen it before. When he speaks, his voice is grim. Iger told me of Green Winter's death. She said that he died in the same manner that Monica did. It wasn't a pretty sight. Amsel nods gravely. Now that you and Iger have your differences, I will tell you that she was badly shaken by the sight of Winter's body. She also mentioned that you found something in Winter's safe, a package full of very old discs. May I see them? Hand over the discs, of course. Good God. Gingerly, Amsel lifts the disc from the bundle and holds it up to the light. Slowly begins to turn it in his hand, causing a rainbow of patterns to shimmer across the surface. I haven't seen one of these since I was a boy. Okay, so it is actually old tech. This is a DVD art. It's a DVD-RW, a data storage medium from the mid-2000s. I'm amazed that Winters was able to find a device that could play it. Do you know that we can read these things? Okay, so this is a shame that they actually did update the setting instead of retain the 80s look. So much for what I was saying about earlier. Do you know how we can read these things? Puts down the DVD in his hands and quickly inspects the others. The first disc that I look at might be readable. The others are damaged, some severely so. I have my doubts about them. For now, let's concentrate on the undamaged disc. There's a little shop outside called Data Haven. Talk to the proprietor, Malit Hole. She might be able to help. Tell her to put the cost of the device on my account. I'm on it. Alright, so this seems like a good place to end for the night. Definitely a longer stream than I was planning, and I think I'm going to wind up paying for it tomorrow. So I think I'm not quite sure how I'm going to handle the homework situation actually. I think I'll at least try and get some of my reading done, and I think what I'll just do is I'll take my hit on sleep and get a early start tomorrow. But with that in mind, it was great to stream for you guys. One of the reasons why I do this later than I intend, and sort of why schoolwork sort of suffers for it, is the fact that I have got some people to interact with chat, and it's been that way for a while now, is something that definitely encourages me to keep streaming. I'm really liking Dragonfall so far. I'm obviously not that far into the game, but I think they have really polished off the Shadowrun series. I can't wait to see Hong Kong, which reminds me, I'll put a link up for the Kickstarter for those of you who haven't already checked it out. It's going to take me a minute to bring it up. Sorry, I have to deal with the visuals. I've got this in full screen mode, so it's basically going to be taking all of that. Alright, so obviously you'll have seen this link before I... Oh wait, this isn't right. Whatever link I post, inevitably it's going to have shown up before the words that I say. But I am definitely really happy with what Harebrained Schemes have done with the series. I think the way that they've handled early access and just generally, I think the way that they've handled their first project, what they've done with the community, and the fact that this one they've already said that they're going to be making the expansion, and that this is just simply a matter of kind of co-development. So the idea here is that Shadowrun Hong Kong is going to be made no matter what, and that effectively what this Kickstarter is giving people a chance to contribute to the project to make it bigger than what they already have planned. The one I was looking forward to, which was the enhanced matrix mechanics, have already been approved, so the next goal is 1 million. Whether or not you guys decide to contribute, I definitely think it is a worthy Kickstarter project, and I wish more developers would consider this route, because I think there are some very serious problems with the way that we've been doing early access so far, which is that people are willing to sell the ideas for a game to get full upfront payment for the idea for a game, and not really have any mechanisms that actually force them to come through with the finished product. I think Harebrained Schemes is giving us a really good model of making a game so that the developer has, some skin in the game, that they have an incentive to make the best product possible, but still are able to access funds to make the product that they have in their head, rather than the ones that they're sort of constrained by their own budgets. So whether or not you decide to contribute, I definitely think it's something worth checking out. I'm looking forward to it. Because I've contributed to it myself, it's going to be one of the few games that I actually play sort of on its opening release, assuming that Dragonfall doesn't take me too far. But yeah, it's been a pleasure streaming for you. Thank you, everybody who decided to keep me company this very late night, but I definitely need some sleep. So I hope you all have a good night. I'm going to shut down the game. If there is somebody I know that I can host, I'll do it. I have a suspicion that the only thing that might be going on is the Dota Asia Championships, but generally BTS doesn't need a host like that. People know where to find them. But I will just take a second here and see if there's somebody I know streaming. If there is, I'll give them a host. If not, I will leave you to the good graces of your following pages. Yeah. I was wondering if maybe Mike Knows Games was doing anything, but anyways, sadly I don't have anybody to host tonight, so I will just I'll call it a night, call it a morning. Thanks for hanging out, Rogue Number. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. And we'll see you on the next one. My usual stream day will be Monday. I definitely can't get anything done tomorrow because my back's against the wall on getting this thesis done. So see you next time, folks. Have a good one.